Welcome back, everybody, to Ravenstar's Witching Hour. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. My wonderful guest tonight is Genna Padilla Valadez. I just love that name. It flows very well. Very, very pretty, Genna. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us. I just love having you on tonight. I want to thank you so much. It's always nice to chat with you. It just feels so good. It feels very relaxed and just like a family type thing.
Yes, it does. Yes.
It's always nice. So tell everybody, you are doing your radio show or no? You said you were, right?
Yes, it's every Friday night. It's 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's on Parax Radio.
Cool.
This was going on my third year solo, 6 years complete.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks. Awesome. And I encourage everybody to tune in. It's a fabulous show. You always have an awesome show.
Thank you.
I love it. Basement Files. It's very good. It's kind of like the X-Files, but it's very ominous.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah. Have you been doing any supernatural stuff? Excuse me. Well, I know you are supernatural, but have you doing any research lately or?
I haven't been out in the field. No, and I haven't. I wish I have so many people asking me to take them places, and I've, as you know, in the beginning of the year, I had health issues, and I had to stop a lot of things. What's really weird is the health issue that I had was dealing with my heart, and for some reason, it's making me lose my breath. I can't walk for long distances, and that I thought was the sleeping part of it. I was like, okay, this is messing up my whole entire inside, my clock, my system, everything's just messed up. So I need to get back out there. I feel stagnant. It's just not working for me. It's not me.
And let me ask you something. Do you think that has anything to do with a psychic attack, or is it strictly a physical thing?
I don't know. It's really weird because out of the blue, it just happened. It just happened when I was driving. And I don't know if you remember when I told you that I had a mark on my body after I had my incident when I was 11 with the seeing the UFO. There was a little thing and you told me to get it checked on my shoulder. And I didn't think about it until maybe half of the year. Then I realized the pain that I had, the pain that I thought was my heart jumping out of my body is in the exact area where this thing is. So I don't know if it triggered or they triggered or I don't know what happened, but since then it's just been going downhill. I don't know if I'm a guinea pig myself and seeing what's going on. So
it almost sounds like an implant. Sometimes implants can help and they can sometimes not help. Just depends. But when they remove them, it seems like it's harder to recalibrate.
And I think that's what happened. I think if it was an implant, I think it was triggered at a certain time because before that, it was just, I was normal. I was able to have 10 things on my plate. And then now it's just, I have to focus on the important things. I can't have all 10 things on my plate anymore. I have to have, this is number one. This has to go first. I don't work the way I used to. And that's just, it blocked me out for a little bit because I was like, I don't feel like myself. So I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you.
That's really wild. What have they been doing for insofar as, did they give you a solution insofar as what's wrong, or what are they giving you health-wise? Anything?
They just gave me a lot of medication.
Just crap. Literally placebos, more than likely.
Crap. I'm on warfarin, which is a blood thinner, and
you have to stay on that too, because if you go off that, isn't that the stuff that you have to stay on?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not, and I just don't want to take them anymore. It's not me. It doesn't make me feel like me, and I think that's a big part of who is what changing me, because it's not me. It's not me.
Well, can't you just drink like lemon juice, like water with lemon in it, or perhaps
and I do
an aspirin to thin your blood? I mean, if that's the case, is easy. You can do organic. Is my point. So it doesn't have to be something like that. Maybe you can go to an alternative.
Exactly. I would prefer that. I honestly would prefer. There's a doctor out there that I loved reading his books, and I don't know if I ever told you about him. His name is Max Sigerson, and he's the one that actually found a cure for cancer organically, but the pharmaceuticals denied him, or the FDA denied his claims because there wasn't enough research on it. But he went from getting people who were stage 4 cancer, like they were going to die in 2 weeks, to healing themselves completely with no sign of cancer.
Nice.
And he is amazing. He was killed. He was poisoned twice. And that's the only way they could kill him, because there was nothing wrong with him. His daughter took over. His daughter doesn't need seeing glasses. She doesn't take any medication. She followed the Gerson way. And she's healthy. She's in her 90s, and she's walking around, and she's doing the teachings her dad did. And I'm thinking, you know what? There are cures out there that these people won't accept, and I don't get why would someone rather have some kind of poison injected into their body and not go natural. I don't get it, because I always thought, the Creator sent us down to earth, and he created this world with cures and with the reasoning behind it. There is a cure out there, but it's all about money. Nobody wants to,
and greed and control. And I don't think they want anybody to live long, to be honest with you. I think they're trying to just expedite everybody's death. That's all there is to it. And, I think I mentioned to you also the CBD oil and the hemp oil. Yes. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm one who doesn't do drugs, and I'm very clean. But I have to tell you, I don't consider this a drug because for various reasons with the CBD. But I mentioned this to a few people on my Facebook page. But I have a dog. He's not fast. And he's literally had some issues with his nerves and his lower spine, his lower back. And he had, they put him on painkillers because he has a compression in his lower back. He's getting older, but he's a bigger dog. And I've started him on hemp oil. Within a week, he improved. It's been about a month, and he's about 95% fixed, literally healed. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. And I'll tell you point blank, that stuff works. And I support it. So I would say if you have health issues, take a good look at that, even for your animals. There's a blend you can get for animals specifically. And I couldn't believe the improvement. I mean, it doesn't make them goofy. It doesn't make them weird. He's fine. He's literally healed. He had nerve damage. I mean, he was like he had a shaky leg. He had this because it was putting pressure on his lower legs and his back, and it's gone. Yeah. So I have to say, people who want to crack down on this, they need to knock it off. This stuff works. Yeah. So that's my point also is finding something more organic, where people can heal their bodies. Besides, this everything's a placebo. Here, take this medicine. And not to mention, I don't know about you, but the prescriptions are outrageous. No insurance company covers
unbelievably outrageous. I agree.
Jeez.
I believe, yes.
I mean, you can't even afford to have medication, so you might as well go organic, right?
Right. I mean
that's the way it seems.
I heard a lot of people talk about that. Is it CDC or
CBD? Is that what you're talking about?
CBD? Yes.
Oil? Yeah.
You're like the third person that mentioned that, and I'm like, where can I get it?
Well, I think a lot of people check and see if it's legal in your state, but I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. And I would say get some at the health food stores. They should have it at the health food store behind a glass counter. And hemp oil, I think they probably call it hemp oil too, but I got the hemp oil for my dog, and it's where it's just like unbelievable.
Wow.
So, yeah. It really does work. So amazing stuff. But yeah, instead of putting them on drugs and medication that give them side effects, and that goes for people, and it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Crap that's going on. They just want people to be sick. It is interesting. It's almost like they want to test everybody and do all kinds of strange experiments to see how much they can take or how much. I think actually Bill Grant was talking about that too. It is true. It's like everybody's a lab rat here. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but I still think we can repair you. And that's why I say insofar as whatever's going on with you, I think can be healed. Just have to find the source of what's going on, the true cause of what, and because is it anxiety? I mean, is it something else? And a lot of people have anxiety energetically speaking. Psychics pick up on a lot of frequencies that make their hearts do strange things. Also the electrical circuitry. I mean, that could be an interference with electricity out, just something with your electromagnetic field too. They never calibrate you for that. They don't factor in electromagnetic pollution and also the interface, just natural interface with that sort of thing with your body.
Right.
Yeah, right. Hawthorn berry, I mentioned that before. That's really good for your heart though.
You're right. I remember you telling me about that.
I'm going to send you a list of stuff that you should have.
That's what I need.
On it. I'll send it to you. But you definitely need some of those things. And just like I said, I would definitely go more organic and get away from the prescriptions.
Me
That's just
too.
me.
Because I can't afford prescriptions. I
No,
can't
it's
do
just to the point. You know what? Hey, man, I'd rather just transfer out my house than go to an ER.
it.
I'm not going to be the next alien autopsy. Sorry. Ooh, let's see what's here. I'm sorry, but they're stupid. And then they have their well, their students, are usually
Oh
there.
yeah.
And, like, I'm not playing these games. I'm sorry. I'm just not playing the game. I feel like we're on a game board, and everybody's just a pawn on the chessboard. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it anymore. So I guess I'm opting out of the game. That's
I don't know.
at.
That could be a good thing. That could be a good thing because you'd be surprised on the changes that would make. I mean, like I said, you and I don't feel right, and if it don't feel right, then something's wrong. So
yep, absolutely, yeah. Well, you confirm it awful lot too when I talk to you, and that's the nice part of it too. Well, sometimes I can go through my own experience and say, well, maybe it's just me, but it's really not, because so many people who are in tune to other multidimensional energies are understanding what's going on. They're getting it. There's something's way, way off here.
Oh yeah,
it's almost like we've been deceived, and it's almost like an after image of where we need to be. It's like everybody's here living in the past that doesn't exist.
That's really pretty sad. I know.
It is. But it feels that way. It feels like we're just, you were talking about Groundhog Day and some other things. That's what it feels like too. Yeah. Or maybe I was talking about Groundhog Day, but since we're losing an hour, and we're losing space and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's another thing. The holidays in itself are different nowadays. They aren't the way that I remembered them. And it's really weird. Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, those used to be fun-filled, beautiful memories to make, and now it's just like now my sisters and I make food and I drop it off to my other sister and that's it.
Yeah,
we don't sit and talk, we don't socialize, we don't do nothing.
Isn't that kind of sad? There's no joy. Sad. I get that too. Well, I haven't really felt any joy around holidays. I don't like the holidays, to be honest with you. Samhain's okay. But I because of what's happened, I just never recovered from that. So I don't really like holidays. Even around, if you want to say Yule or Christmas, either or, it doesn't really matter. For those of you who think that, it's really funny, coming from my background in mysticism and the craft, I remember going to midnight mass and getting communion. And of course, we're pagan craft. They didn't care. And we didn't care either. So, I think it's funny because people just don't get it, that we're all kind of one in consciousness. When your heart's pure and your intent's pure, there's no boundary, you can do just about anything. But I think it's losing itself, and somewhere there's just people they're not connecting like they used to. And I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's that camaraderie, just that nice unconditional hello and looking people in the eye and communicating. And I don't think we can get it back. I don't know if we can, to be honest with you.
Well, with the technology that's coming out, and I think you're right when you say that we lose. It's something that we have to lose in order to gain, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It could be good in some ways, but then when you get too much good, it's an abuse of power, and then if it gets too powerful, it gets really, really bad. And people don't get that that's too much of a good thing is not really good at all. So
they're losing their communication skills. The one thing I noticed when I went to the Stargates of the Cosmos, it was nice to meet the people I had talked to and interviewed that I never got to look at. I never met them in person. And it was so nice, to see them, to talk to them, to give them hugs, that sort of thing. So it does make a difference when you actually physically meet people. And talk to them, in my opinion, anyway. Maybe you and I, obviously, you're just like relative. I swear, I know you. So, but it's funny when you meet people. It really is nice. And the one thing about the internet, I can say that we've all been able to connect here. I think it's been great. I mean, had we not had the internet, I wouldn't be able to meet people around the world. But at the same time, it's something's been lost because there's so much distortion and perversion mixed in. It's the good people are fine, but it's these other idiots that I just like. What is going on with these scumbags? And I'm not trying to judge them, but something's got to give.
Yeah. So, and it's like the one bad apple, it falls into exactly. And people get confused in the poison, which way is up and which way is down, and they just go along with the flow. And that's where these sheep come in, and it's just not. It's not feasible for people who have an actual thinking mind.
Right. Thank you. And the thing is, people don't think anymore. In the old days, the philosophers, I always think of ancient Greece, the philosophers that would sit and talk about so many different things in the multiverse, mathematics, science, sound, music, all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm still like that. I could talk for hours in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. and talk about really complex things because that's how I'm wired. But where do people really do that anymore? It's like they don't even have real conversations. So, and I'm not trying to judge everybody, but I have to say it's quite obvious. Get on Twitter. If you think I'm like BSing you, just observe them. Okay. It's disgusting. It really is sickening to me. Yeah. So, and I can become so grumpy, I'm just like, over,
I thought it was just me, man.
No, I always say I'm the dragon in the lair. I go into the lair. I don't want to be bothered. People come in with their torches. They start attacking me. I come out of the lair. I burn down the city. I go back home.
Yay.
That's it.
Yay for the dragon.
Or it's the harmless bunny from Monty Python. That little white rabbit. Oh, it's just a harmless bunny. Yeah, that's me too. I come out and I'm after. Leave me alone. I'll be fine. Really.
Run, rabbit.
It's still a classic movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, the Holy Grail. That's what I mean. But the old movies were much better than they are. I don't even watch movies anymore. I don't know about you, but I don't really watch anything.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. It's been interesting.
I was watching a classic the other night with my husband. We were watching Caveman. That's one movie that's hilarious and did not have that much dialogue. And, all they do is grunt and make some weird noises.
Be careful. That's going to be the future now.
That's what it is now, because that's how, people make their own language. They were talking about zug and, matcha. I'm like, oh my God.
Funny. But, when you think about it, they are making their own language with the internet. I mean, on their texting. If you look at the texting when people text,
oh my God,
I see it like, oh my God, what is this supposed to be? Is this code?
Yeah.
When I'm sitting there being anal trying to type a sentence and the stupid thing does auto type, I hate that.
I hate that too.
Like I can type myself. Thank you very much.
Well, my nephew's 20. He's going to be 21 in February, and he starts talking to me about, hey fam, all this stuff, and I'm looking at him like, what? Shamalama ding dong, whatever, man. Funny. I speak in proper languages because I'm like,
it's just pretty. Yeah, you're right. It's grunts. It's this. It's that. And even if it was synthetic telepathy, they'd still be a mess. So, it reminds me of the monolith in 2010 Space Odyssey. I reference that often because that's what it's going to be. Everybody's going to be surrounding themselves with these big devices and like, oh, I love this device. And they're all just a bunch of vegetables. So,
it's bright and shiny and they want to poke it with a stick. Yes.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I love technology, but man, I don't get it. I mean, it's just like you have to be evolved enough at a certain level to be able to utilize the technology properly. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. But like I said, for every positive there's a negative because we lose something when we gain it. And people don't realize how quickly we'll lose either the ability to read or the ability to write. And that's just the scary part because that's where our history is. And then now in public school, they're changing history books. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And they've been doing that forever. I mean, they're always sanitizing stuff. But nonetheless, that's why I like the oral history. Now, your culture has oral history, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes a big difference, in my opinion, because you're actually having it from generation to generation. And it's oral. To me, that makes a big difference. And also having some kind of documents or texts also. Ancient books, ancient scripts are good too. But I see it also that where's the history? It's all lost, and that's why I like cellular memory because we have the cells and the atoms that store the data. But nonetheless, here with mankind, I mean, 100 years from now, is it going to matter? Is any of this going to matter? I always tell people 100 years from now, we won't even be here. What's going to be left?
Lies. That's
I have no idea. People screwing plastic. That's what's going to be left. I mean, I don't know.
They're doing it now, and lies.
It's just like they do it because they can, not because it's right. And I think that's the biggest problem I have.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. We can do anything, but should we? That's the point.
Yeah, a lot of people don't stop and think if we really should. I mean, it's great, like I said, but it's an abuse of power when it does great, it's great. It's just like the Ouija board when it answers you and it tells you what you want to know. And then you get greedy and you say, well, what about this? And how about the lotto numbers? and you
get obsessed with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think it was somebody who was talking about that the other day. Have you been working the Ouija around Samhain? Do you do that around Samhain or no?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did it work? How'd it go? No, it's all right. Don't apologize to me. It's fine.
It wasn't answering. So
really?
yeah. So I'm okay. I didn't feel the connection.
Okay. Well, maybe you weren't supposed to.
Yeah,
what about the seance? Did you ever try just doing a seance?
I've never done a seance. No.
Those are pretty powerful. I've been through those before, and they're very, they are effective if you do them properly. Uh-huh. Yeah. But somebody else, another woman I had interviewed just a couple of weeks ago, she was doing some Ouija board work, and I guess I don't know how that worked. I didn't ask her, but I was curious to see on Samhain what kind of energies were coming through.
Yeah.
For the board.
The board for me, it didn't work, but my focus was on the casting, so I wasn't really too prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need when you're casting, you don't need the board anyway because you're the one in control.
Right. And I was like
delegating. Yeah. I don't like delegating my power to these little entities. I mean, if you get something really important, I guess that's good. But I remember using the Ouija a long time ago when I was younger, and I helped me find stuff. I lost something. I lost a ring, and I found it through the Ouija board.
Oh, nice.
When I was a teenager. Uh-huh. So, it's interesting. They do have a type of spirit. I call them spirit boards too. I think that's a nice terminology for them.
Mm-hmm.
Talking boards to some degree. Yes. And there are all kinds of scrying devices. I mean, these things have been around forever, so it's not like, oh, it's evil. There's no such thing. I mean, it's just a device. It's just like anything else. Yeah. So you go into the internet and you Google. We could say Google's a Ouija board too.
Exactly.
So, it's the same thing. Get your planchette and just get out there and Google, man.
You're just looking for answers. That's what I'm saying.
And it's the same thing. That's their new god anyway.
Yeah. You are right.
So like pick your poison is my point. And I think bottom line is everybody just needs to grow up and ascend, and hopefully that'll happen. But I see it not happening. And but at least beings like you are here, and that's wonderful. I know we have wonderful listeners here and there, and people in the chat. I know we have some really awesome people here at the station. Good people with a lot of different types of energy and information. So.
Yay. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. And it's fabulous. So, yeah. And once again, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that? I want to make sure they get in touch with you.
They can go to YouTube under Dark Realms Texas, and they'll find my videos there all about paranormal stuff. I have my old investigation stuff up. So they also can hear me every Friday night at ParaX Radio under The Basement Files, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Cool.
And if they want to write or tell me their story or be on my show, they can contact me through Basement Files at Yahoo. Or they can find me on social media. It's Genna Padilla Valadez. Or, I'm thinking of using my mom's maiden name and make another another Facebook, because I don't know if you know that I was like blocked out of Facebook for...
Why?
Because somebody was offended by the little meme of a little tiny baby dressed as a Hitler, and it's a grammar Nazi thingy, and it was for grammar. Yeah. And they told me that it went against Facebook policy, so I was blocked for like 3 days.
Screw that.
So I was gonna make another Facebook thing. I'm like, it's about grammar, people. And
what grade are we in? Jesus,
exactly.
You know what? Come on, people. This is adults on Facebook here, not 10-year-olds.
Thank you. So my mom's...
Go ahead.
My mom's maiden name is Redmore, and I was thinking, because my name's Genevieve, and I was thinking, well, nobody's ever called me Evie, so I really like the name Evie, so I was going to use Evie Redmore. That's my name that I use as I'm going to write the books, and that's the name I'm going to use.
That's definitely the name. Oh yes, yeah, use it. Go ahead.
That's what I'm probably going to do.
So one little piece of crap actually turned you in, or was it somebody from Facebook in general? I mean, was it the Facebook people that worked there?
I don't know. I opened my phone and it said, this goes against Facebook, whatever. And I'm like,
get out of here. They data mine so much information. They should be paying us. Literally. You want my information? You want my blood type? Fork over some cash.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yep.
I'm tired of it. Yeah. That goes for the CIA and every alphabet agency out there. I'm sending you a bill, people. Literally, they've, no free information, no free shots.
Exactly.
They do.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. No. I don't go over to their house and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just need all this information on you." You don't mind if I go inside your house and look around, do you? Do you mind if I get this information from you? Oh, let me look in your files. Oh, can I look at your Rolodex? I don't even have those anymore. Can I go into some of their houses and start nosing around? Seriously. And then
Exactly.
okay, we don't like this. This is against our rules, so we're going to shut this down. You don't mind, do you?
Exactly.
I'm looking for the alternate universe. I'm looking for the alternate reality, and when that day happens, I'm going to be very happy. I am.
Well,
But I
let's
like
hope
the
we
universe.
both find it, because
Yeah. Well, I haven't been kicked out of Facebook. It's scary that they don't kick me out of there because I can be
you've
pretty
got too
mouthy.
much information, man. You've got too
Oh,
much
I'm the
information
one
they
that's like,
want.
yeah, I'm like the MIB. They like she creeps me out. Yeah, she's an AI. We're going to leave her alone. That's right. I'll screw your algorithms up. You better watch out. Like get in there, man. You're all toast. I always said that too. I said if I get into that AI, man, it's going down. Is that where I've been? Homie ain't playing that card.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's probably why they've been doing what they've been doing recently with me. But yeah, it's interesting, no doubt. Well, I would say a seance at some point. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually got together and did some investigations? That would be fabulous.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Maybe if you're either out here or I'm out there, we'll try to connect.
I don't think I'm going to Colorado anytime soon, but I'd like to.
It's nice. Well, it's snowy here, so you probably wouldn't even want to be out here anyway.
No.
Yeah. Have you been to New Mexico?
I think I drove through it.
Okay. I was just curious what you think the vibe was. I was interesting because when I was out in New Mexico for Albuquerque, it was just minor, but I actually felt energetically better. And I got back here and I started feeling like crap again. This place nails me. I mean, literally has me triangulated. When I get out over there and I get away from this place, I'm fine. I mean, I feel 100% better. So it's very interesting. So I don't know what to do about it. Can't, this is the hub, I guess. But I do notice a huge difference. And I live away from people. I mean, I'm up the mountain,
Yeah.
So there's not much I can do. I've tried to get them to cease and desist, and they don't seem to want to stop.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Because you're in Colorado, right?
Yep.
Isn't that the place where what's the name of that guy? He was a park ranger or something, and there was a lot of UFO things that he's seen.
Oh, the 411 guy? You're not talking about him, are you?
411. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of research, and I can't remember his name right now, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Gosh, my memory's going out the window too. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
It's interference, man. It's an erasure interface or something. I know who you're talking about. But yeah, no, we've had the missing people type thing.
Yes.
Yeah. There's stuff going on out here. There's ominous stuff that happens here. This used to be a real beta testing area for covert technology. And even before I was inducted in 2004, they were doing all kinds of things. We were the first town to have, or Boulder was, to have the smart grid, the smart town. So that was basically the smart town turns you into a dumb town because of the interface and the remote control access and a lot of other stuff with the dirty electricity, but they won't tell you that. So a lot of things that go on here. And, of course, the DIA, people are spooked by that. And the hub of the CIA supposedly after 9/11 that came in. And I don't really confirm that. I do know there's a lot of insidious people here that are part of a very bad cabal that are deploying a lot of bad things. And a lot of gaslighters that are actually, there are a lot of bad people here. There are good people here, a lot of bad people here too.
Oh, yeah.
And they're moving here. More and more of it's coming here. I just am amazed. So, yeah. And I think that's why I was like, wow, I felt so much better going out there when I was in New Mexico, even though I wouldn't want to live there. I thought it was nice. And I get back here and it's like within like a day or two, I'm like, holy crap.
Is that where the con was? Where you went?
The Stargate to the Cosmos. Yeah, it was in Albuquerque.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was great. It was really nice. And I didn't realize that, like I said, I didn't realize that base was there. And it was kind of interesting for the Air Force Base to be right there. They share the same runways and things. So you got to look at all the cool planes, When we were taxiing out, I thought, well, this is neat. I got to see all the really neat military planes. So C-130s and things like that were over there, and some other helicopters and that I don't identify, but it was very eerie in a weird way.
Eerie? How so?
You've been through the Air Force bases, right? Or you've been around bases.
This whole city is all Air Force base.
Right. What do you get? What kind of vibe do you get when you investigate around there? I know you've investigated sites like that.
I have. There's some strong energy. There's just, it's a kind of wiggy feeling where you're not, you're being watched. You can tell.
It's interesting. This is what I wanted to share with you guys. When I first got out there, I felt really good, and I was talking. Cassandra Valadez and I, we shared a table, and I just love her. She's wonderful. She's one of the psychics, and it was interesting because I felt like I was going into a trance. I felt like I was getting hit with something like neurolinguistic. I was almost feeling like I was having not a stroke, but literally being hit so hard that I was having a hard time even just focusing. And that happened for about 24 hours. And then I was calibrated okay and everything was fine. But it was very interesting. And then I didn't realize that was so close to that Air Force base. But I was curious insofar as maybe that was one of the reasons because of the electromagnetic energies that are there. I also noticed my phone was the battery was going quickly, more so than usual. That could be other things, but it was very, very interesting. And of course, the Sandia Mountains, is a lot of stuff going on around there. Some people say it's ET. I believe it's more covert intel. I think there are a lot of little nerds out there with IT access who like to play, extraterrestrial. So I'll call them out. But that's what I see. Instead of people saying, "Oh, these are ETs and they're talking to me," I'm like, "Okay, where's the guy? Where is he? Let's go to the room now." Exactly. I'll tell you right now, those of you who are out there, and I know they're not listening, but the people that are out there pretending to be extraterrestrials and hiding behind the black screen, I swear to God, one of these days I'm going to get back at all of you. Don't do that. It's so stupid. And they do it all the time with their access.
Wow.
It's like, it's just like channeling. If you're a conduit for energy, they can interface you and they can literally pretend to be anything. It's like a prostitute. They'll be whatever they want, whatever you want them to be. They're going to be your friendly neighborhood spook. I hope you're happy with it.
Like they live, huh?
Yeah.
Like they live. Wow.
Can you imagine doing that for a living? I'd like to know how much they get paid. Maybe we should sit there for about $300,000 a year and pretend we're ETs and just sit there and transmit signals to people and talk to their heads 24 hours a day and say, "Hey, what do you think?"
Should. I think we're elevated to that point where
I think we are too.
Probably freak people out.
I think we should start our own business again.
I think we should. I
always say I'm the other MIB on my website, Night Shadow Anomaly Detectives. I said the other MIB, the one that got away. Partially inducted, but escaped.
That's good. Yeah.
And
sounds like a plan.
It is. And I know they're dirty tricks, though. The thing is, I know what they do. Yeah. So, I think they should just come clean. I think everybody should just come clean. Why can't we just lower everything and say, let's just come clean? They're already doing their Space Force crap, which is literally just the black space program leading through to the real programs. So it doesn't matter anymore. Let's just all put the cards on the table, show everybody your black triangles. Let's just do it. Let's just show everybody. Let's just put it all out there. It's all crazy anyway. Seriously, let's just do it. And it was interesting because a long time ago they talked about the alien invasion, but there is no alien invasion. I mean, there's an invasion, but a lot of other stuff, but there's not the alien invasion that they're talking about extraterrestrials. Everybody was worried about extraterrestrials. And now we have the reverse engineered stuff that goes underground. Well, they reverse engineered so much technology and information and even a formula of species that we can literally say we have a version of an ET. So if they want to use those for an invasion, they can certainly do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the underground bases very much, but I'm talking about some of the exotic technologies that they've done with extraterrestrials. So, yeah, it's interesting. I'll tell you. Have you ever had any interesting experiences with my labs?
No.
Okay. Just curious if you've ever been pulled into one. You seem like you might have been.
No, not yet. I'm just worried though, because I've heard what you've been through, and that's just horrible.
Well, it's disgusting. As I said, some people have the touchy-feely experiences. I've never had anything cool happen to me. I've always had the crap. I mean, I've had really intense technology interface, but I've never had an opportunity to be around the really, nice, pleasant, spiritually peaceful type, whatever it is. Yeah. I've never been through that. And that's why I kind of look at other people like, well, that's nice. I was peaceful before they inducted me, though. I had reached that bliss mode. I had reached that state of consciousness where I was very zen. I didn't need to be bothered. But it's interesting. But they'll hijack you. If you have a good telepathy naturally, or if you're gifted, they'll interface you. They can do it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of worried about that because then you don't know what like you said. How do you know what's reality and what they're implanting in your head to believe? That's just the scary part about it, because I don't know how I don't know how you grasp the reality of what really is going on.
Well, I used my own celestial heritage as a benchmark. That's what I did. I used where I was in 2004 as the benchmark with clarity, and then everything they were inserting I just decoded. And since I knew who my handler was and I knew who the people were live feed real time, I started going into that. I just looking at it more scientifically than looking at the technology. And then the psychotronics, through imagery, I had to be very careful and use discernment, because sometimes it would be an image which was hijacking my psychic centers, and other times it would be virtual feed where It's like being in the military where you're going into rooms and you're literally remote viewing and you're in a virtual feed, in a virtual space where you're interactive. It's like being in virtual reality. There's that I went through. And then there's the other stuff that I went through, which looks like a telescope. And it's my ability, but it's like a little telescope that can go into miniature micro worlds. And I love that ability. And I use that ability, but that was something they wanted to manipulate, and it pissed me off. I think that somebody in their defense department got worried about my abilities. Like, be honest with you. But that pisses me off because that's one of my special gifts, and that's something I had before they showed up.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still decoding that. I'm like, I don't like them tampering and making things worse for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem I'm running into with these guys. I think that they'd rather see me damaged than be able to access things that they know I can access at this point.
Right.
And that kind of makes me very, very angry. And that's why I'm like after them to some degree, because you don't do that to people. I worked really hard on my abilities and fine tuning my skill.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't want people to be brain dead either. They have the capabilities to erase you. I mean, it's a miracle I can walk and talk at this point. I mean, it really is a miracle. So,
but you like you said, you started out as that special being, and they enhanced you. Mm-hmm. And with me, it's the same way. I was born with an ability to have the connection. More so with my parents than with anybody else, but I have that connection to where I can feel and I'm empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary to the point where if I can walk into a building, which is what what happens to me when I'm in the field in the paranormal, when I walk into a building, everything that was negative or positive enters me. And mm-hmm. it makes me either enraged or it'll make me either extremely sad. So that's the only thing that I was able to control up until a couple of years ago. Then every building I went into, I would feel the intense anger. Every building.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're quite a medium then. I mean, you're a conduit for sure. I mean, that's an ability. That's a gift. There's no doubt. Clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. But you get the sense around naturally, so that's how fine-tuned you are. So it would be hard. I guess you'd have to create your own filters to filter some of that out so you don't take on more than you have to and then don't lose control. That's what my suggestion would be.
Yeah.
But the difference between spirit and feeling and knowing. See, when they interfaced me live feed real time, it was them. So it was live feed real time with their voices, their names, and then they showed up in person. So I actually got to understand who I was dealing with. And then later on understood the technology and how it was hijacking our natural abilities, because you're a natural psychic too. So you know the difference between what you normally see. And then when you get an interface, you'll say, wow, this is mechanical or this is technological. I can tell because it's almost too good and it's very digital. And that's how you know. And everything speeds up, by the way. Everything speeds up. It's like you're going fast forward, literally fast forward. It's like you're speed reading. It's like everything is super, super quick. Everything you look at, that's what they want to reprogram you. That's what they started with me when I was reading. So yeah, you'll know the difference with the technology. And I don't know, how many more people are going to be pulled into these programs. I was one of the first ones in 2004. I know that DARPA's working out with their personnel, as I said, with the military. And I'm assuming that more and more people will be calibrated for it. And I would say probably for purchasing for upgrades, just because, people who have money will probably use this as a technological upgrade. And people who want to do something, I think it's going to be one of those things, like almost a novelty at some point, but it's really weaponized and it's militarized, and that's what they really want it for, is for the weaponization of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the sad part. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care what they do in the military, but the fact of the matter is I wasn't military. They pulled me into a program. I didn't sign up for the military. I might come from a military family, but I didn't sign up. I didn't talk to anybody prior. They extracted me in my home with the technology interface, and then they lied about it. So that's what pisses me off the most. It's kind of like, man up. That's all.
Yeah.
They didn't want you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. How would you feel, you guys, if you were out there and you get extracted in your home with a technological interface that drags you away and takes you away from your family, your marriage, everything you worked your ass off for? Literally. I don't complain a lot. I try not to, but it's something that just doesn't go away, man. It's a wound that never heals.
Inevitable. It's inevitable. You've been hurt, you've been tortured, you've been through hell and back, and then you're supposed to sit there and smile and say, okay, next.
And that's what I've been doing. That's the saddest part of all, is I've been so cordial still to this day. I'm not a serial killer. I'm not somebody who's going to go flip out. I'm actually in control, but I'm disgusted and I'm sick of everything. And I can't explain it, but I'm just so sick of everything. You go through these things, and I smile, and it's like people have no idea because they have their regular mundane crap lives. And they're like, I'm so tired of this, and I'm so tired of that. Like, bitches, if you only knew where I've been. You try beating me for 10 minutes where I've been, and you would die. That's what I can't say to them. I can't tell people that. That's why I'm like, count your blessings. That's all I can say to people. This is a crazy world. Count your blessings. And then, like I said, the technology could have been great had they not misused it with psychological warfare and operations. A lot of departments in DOD get involved. When DC gets involved, bad things happen. When Cheney gets involved, really bad things happen. And in 2004, that's when I was pulled in, and those were the people involved. They were the background. So a lot of ugliness coming from DC back then.
Oh.
And then Obama didn't do anything about it, but accelerate AI research. I mean, I contacted him. So he's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna spend more money on artificial intelligence now." It's like, really, dude? Okay, I give up. Let them all play in the sandbox by themselves. That's all. I just don't want to be playing with them.
I hear you. I think we should. I think we should actually step back and I don't know. I don't think I should. I don't know. It's going to be really hard for you to do it because I know you. But for me, I think it would be very hard for me to embrace the world like I used to when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I was too caring to everybody. And now I've gotten to a point in my life where I feel like I am held back. And I don't know if it's me being selfish, but I'm tired of trying to save the world. I am now focusing on saving myself because I realized people are not grateful and they're not respectful and they are going to, I'm done with them. They're going to be left with their own, how they want to live.
I agree.
It's to the point where I'm not going to focus on people in the world anymore. I'm focusing on me. And I think that's where this whole new attitude with this psychiatrist and the pills and everything that went wrong for me. I think that actually was a blessing in disguise because it got me out of a funk where I wasn't sure if this is the way the world is supposed to be. And you know what? I think it is the way my world is not supposed to be. I don't feel right in it. I don't
feel right in it either. So if that makes you feel any better, I feel like this is not my home. This is not my land. This is not my world. And I am not in resonance with it. Even if I can navigate in it. And that's only because I've been calibrated to be able to navigate. But no, I agree with you too. I used to give people the shirt off my back. I used to be so generous and so loving. And the same way, I was always overextending my energy, my light, my love for people before the induction. This induction hardened me. It made me more warrior-like. It made me more detached from people. And now what's left is some kind of a Pele, Kali, goddess, Valkyrie, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not not compassionate, but I am completely removed and neutral positive. So, okay. Right. And so that's where I'm at. But
I don't even know if it's even worth taking the heart that I had for people and life and itself and trying to help it and be happy. It's not making me happy anymore because people aren't giving me the feedback that I need and not feeding my soul, and that's the part that's just not making me feel good.
Exactly. And I know you need to leave. So if you need to leave, first of all, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I just love having you on. I love you. And I want you to take care of yourself and have a beautiful evening. I know you have to go, but is there anything you want to leave everybody with? I know you have to kind of go.
Be happy and love everybody. Be kind. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost anything. And love your animals because they love you unconditionally. You think miracles aren't in today's day and age, but look at all the birth that's going on, look at all the air that we're breathing, and look at all the beautiful wind that happens when the weather changes. And stay human, stay humble. And I love you all, and I learned to love myself, and I love you, Solaris. Thank you so much for having
I
me.
love you too. You have a big future ahead of you, and I still think you'll be awesome in politics.
Thank you.
I see you as a leader. So, take care and love you very much, and have a wonderful night. Okay, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night. I'm not sure how to disconnect that, but she will. But she's so sweet. I love Genna. So I hope you guys enjoyed having her on the show. She's wonderful. Please check her show out. She's fantastic. So good night, Genna, and have a safe, wonderful evening. We were talking about a lot of different topics tonight. And I'll tell you, it's been really nice to be able to talk about this stuff because it gets stored, and there's so much weird going on in the world that sometimes you just need to talk about it. Maybe you guys can relate. I hope you can. Maybe I know you can't relate to some of the stuff I've been through, but you can certainly relate to the strange that's going on in this world right now. The distortions, the stuff that never clears. You can blame it on politics, you can blame it on religion, you can blame it on a lot of things. But I'm telling you right now, mankind's problem is mankind. Mankind's got serious problems, and you've got to get this stuff cleared. And I don't know what it's going to take to clear this place, energetically speaking, through consciousness. People have been so derailed and so socially engineered. They're so dumbed down. They're so not thinking. And then if that's not bad enough, there's an interface technology that will even make it worse for people, like the stuff I've been subjected to. They have different types of prisons now. They have your electronic prisons, right? Well, this type of a technology can be used for interconnection to a target if they want you to, say they want to detain you in some way. They can interface you and create a template that will literally create a re-education program. So that's the same as being in prison. It's a frequency fence, but it's not the type of electronic device you'd wear around your wrist. That's the new wave of technology they're working on. That's the one they're probably going to start deploying pretty soon. And that's probably going to start some lawsuits. I don't have a criminal background, and I never had a criminal background when I was pulling this project. So there was no reason for them to do what they did to me. And even if if it was a criminal background, they have no right to do what they do, period. End of story. This is what I mean by there's so many things that are happening where it's a violation of your universal rights, your spiritual rights, your civil rights. It's just no good. So we've got to do something about it. And thank you, David. Yeah, I have about 12 minutes plus or minus left of the show. So if there's any questions, I know can't really take any calls, I guess, but just want to say hi to Dave and Mecky. They've got a great show that's going to be coming up here. Let me tell you about what's going on with them. They are going to be talking about, wait a second, that's not hypothesis. I forgot what you said you were talking about there. I'll find it. I know I wrote it down. So they're going to have some death, I think. Death and resurrection is what they're going to be talking about tonight with, Shiny Side Out with David Dungeon and Mecky. So that's going to be a fabulous show. And don't forget, you do lose an hour. So I do hope everybody had a nice holiday. We got to talk about some cool things tonight. So, and I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not going to drop the server just yet, but I do want to thank everybody. I want to thank Hawk for just taking care of the station like he does. And no big deal if I don't get an archive out of this or not. It's not a big deal. Hi there. Yeah, it's David. And what else do I want to say? I think that's all I need to really say. But Jen is awesome. So is there any questions in chat? No, I don't look and see any questions in here. That's okay. But yeah, so I got a lot off of my chest tonight. And the illusion of space and time. So that's good. I hope everybody gets their lives together and has a great life. But I can tell you, hold on for the ride because it's going to be rough. It's not going to be easy. And, I think that people have it in their heads to just behave a certain way. And I've said this before, and I say it all the time, every single day, just about every single week, that the only way out is up. The only way out is truly to get off this planet and to live elsewhere. And I know that sounds like an escape route, but I'm dealing with observation. And my observation is this place is so defective that there's no hope for it. It's so cancerous that I don't think it can be cured. That people have become such a brain virus, I don't see a repair. It's going to take a major act, not of God, but of a multiversal act to change this dynamic here on this world. And it's going to, I don't see how that's going to happen. But what I'd like to see, because I have my Battlestar Galactica kind of design work behind in my head, is I'd love to see us get out of here and take a ship, several ships, get a certain percentage of people that I know need to leave here that are very evolved, very advanced in consciousness, that don't belong and literally don't need to be part of this abuse, and just go home. So, and the studio clock moves back 1 hour, so technically you can have an extra hour. Oh, no. I am definitely going to I'm giving this to Dave and Mecky, Mr. Rowe, but thank you very much. Yeah, don't forget, you guys, that we're switching calendars and clocks and everything else in the illusion of space and time. Do you think I should drop the server now, Mr. Rowe, or should I just, should I wait? Just let me know. I think I have like 10 minutes plus or minus here, so If anybody wants to call in for the last few minutes, you're welcome to do that. But I'm not sure how that rolls. But let me know if you want me to drop it. He's laughing. Smarty. It's nice to see people in chat. Nice to see everybody in chat, actually. So, yeah, you guys know this show, Ravenstar's Witching Hour. And don't forget, I'm on hyperspace over there at KCOR as well, 12 midnight Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific. So tune in if you can. I'm also on Twitter. If you want to follow me and troll me, if you're a jerk, you get blocked. But usually I have some okay people. Twitter is a very strange place. It's very, very defective. I'm laughing over there. Oh, yeah, just go normally. Okay, cool. I'm not ranting, am I, Bill? Bill Grant? Bill has a great show. You rant too, Bill. You did a great job, though. I was listening to your show, and you do pretty well. He's pretty intense, and he has a lot of good points he makes. I think you're on that same wave, too, about, at some point you just have to throw up your hands and just say, wow, what a messed up place. I can tell you point blank, I'm not one of the contributors who screwed up this world, and I will take credit for that. I did not have anything to do with the way this place has gone down. So those of you who have been the poison, screw you. Those of you who have been the enlightenment and the pillars of light, you are blessed and you are immortal and you'll make it. But I'm telling you right now, man, I've never seen anything like it. And I'm not exaggerating, literally. So some weird, really, really weird stuff happening here on this rock. And if you live where I live, good luck with elections. So there's an awful lot of weird going on with that, too. I would tell people also be nice to animals, be kind to animals. I don't like people abusing animals. I have a real problem with that. So anybody out there who's a jerk with animals, that's your own personal curse and your downfall. I'm very much an animal advocate. There's no doubt about that. I don't think I'm going to cover anything else pertaining to what I was doing with my presentations. At some point, I think I might. I think they recorded those also when I was at Stargate to the Cosmos. So I'm not sure when they're going to be out or if they're going to be out, but I'm assuming that at some point they will be put out there so people can actually maybe pay-per-view. And then I don't have access to them right now, so I can't tell you. But it will be through, you probably have to ask Janet Lesson or iVolve Television. Excuse me. As I lose my voice here, iVolve Television, they'll probably have access to some of the recordings. We recorded a lot of things out there at the Stargate to the Cosmos presentations and my workshops. And one thing I did want to say before I close out of here, I had a really good workshop I did on my first book, Transmutation Through Ascension. And I have to tell you, people really loved it. I had really good response and feedback from that workshop. It's amazing to me because that was the grassroots of my my work before I was inducted. And it has everything to do with consciousness and DNA activation, light body. And that's not like woo-woo New Age. This is literally about consciousness, mastering consciousness, and also working with elements, working with water and also programming water and how it affects the body when you program it and actually ingest the water after you've transmuted it. We actually did some experiments in the group, and I downloaded some information and some frequencies into the water, and people noticed a difference as soon as they drank it. So it does work. Be aware of how your consciousness affects reality, because I'll tell you, we can create miracles here, or we can be the worst nightmare, But I see more and more people that just don't want to step it up and be those beings we're supposed to be. So I guess that's it. I've really been talking a lot, and I'm losing my voice a little bit here. So do want to thank everybody. I don't hear music yet. Oh, you're going to do a 3-hour show. All right. That's David Mecke. That sounds good to me, too. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And don't forget, my website is Night Shadow Anomaly Detectives. I do oracle readings and timeline astrology if anybody's interested. I've been getting more people accessing my website for a reading. So if you're interested, you can do that and send me a message and I can schedule an appointment with you. I don't do it all the time, but I have been doing more and more of those lately, especially around the season. So I do that, other investigations and things as well. So, and my books are on Amazon.com. I might as well do some plugs here, right, while I'm waiting for time and the illusion to end. So you can get all my books. 1 Million Miles Till Midnight is probably one of my favorites. I'm going to try and get this into some kind of a miniature sci-fi insofar as an animation goes, film. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm still looking for somebody to help me compile it. We'll see what it turns into, but I think it's going to be really good. So I think that's it, guys. Let's see here. Any questions or anything? Nope. Are we out of time, or should I hate to give dead air to everybody, but I'm waiting for the music to kick in. So I hope everybody had a nice Samhain or Halloween and we're safe and nobody's dog was ripped off. I saw an article about that. I think I mentioned it on the show. Somebody stole someone's dog on the front porch. How dare they? How disgusting is this? This is the kind of creepy people that are out there. So be watchful, Love you too, Bill. And, make sure you keep cameras on your porch. I would say surveillance cameras everywhere, you guys. I'm serious. I would definitely put some cameras around. People are thieves these days. They steal. You give them an inch, they'll take your life. Seriously. I hate to say it. I don't want to sound cynical, but it's true. So thank you. We have about 1 minute plus or minus. Thank you, Dave. And so enjoy the show tonight. I think you're going to really enjoy Dave and Mecky. I love Dave and Mecky, and I love the fact that they have their show right after mine. We've been here for a while now on the station, and we keep plugging along. I lose my voice, but I'm still here. And Dave and Mecky probably won't be losing their voice, but they'll be doing good. So, tune in for their show tonight and enjoy and support everybody here at the station as well. Donate if you can. And Mr. Rowe, thank you for everything you do, too. I know you're there in the chat room. Jerry B., thank you, and everybody else in chat. I'm just going down the chat here. And Batsman and guests, whatever you are, and all kinds of stuff. So, all right, I think we're out of time in the illusion of, although I don't hear music, so I think we're good, though. I'm going to let go of this server in just about a second here, guys. Yeah. It's really quiet. Should I go ahead and let go of the server? I might do that actually a little bit early. I don't think it matters. So I'm going to drop the server, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your animals. Love each other. Love your family. You never know when you'll see them again. Seriously. So take care of yourselves. Okay. All right. Until next time, everybody, have a great weekend. I'm just going to sign out of here and let this music kick in. All right. Night, everybody.